Previously, Delu had not been happy, but she agreed. She screamed at Zixingyu to do his part and heal her, and he did as she asked. As he worked, he explained that his eyes were from the system. Delu, however, corrected him, saying they were Dragon God's eyes. A beast, however, had found them hiding. Now to this week's chapter. She led him deeper into the cave, their eyes fixed on the roaring beast before them. It stepped forward, its fiery mane illuminating the cavern walls. She wondered aloud if it was a lava lion tiger beast. There was something strangely familiar about it. Zixingyu's eyes narrowed as a chilling realization struck him. This was the same beast that had pushed him and Black Fang off the cliff. As the ground sizzled and melted beneath the approaching lava beast, Zixingyu muttered that he hadn't expected it to keep chasing him. Why was it so fixated on him? There was no time to dwell on that now. The beast lunged at them with a deafening roar. They both dodged, but Z slammed into the rocky wall of the cave. The beast roared again, ignoring her and turning its molten eyes toward him. Trapped and unable to escape, Z realized he was in a dire spot. Just as the beast closed in, a strange purple aura flared around him, crackling with energy. Suddenly, bursts of purple energy shot out, striking the lava lion and forcing it to stumble back, caught off guard by the sudden assault. Zixingyu stared in confusion at the strange phenomenon surrounding him, unsure of what was happening to his body. Delu stepped forward with a faint smile, her earlier attack fading as the glow around her dimmed. Despite a slight tremble in her movements, she carried herself with confidence. She remarked that she might be a little hurt, but as the emperor, she was no weakling for a mere beast to provoke without facing the weight of her power. The lava beast roared and lunged at her, its claws slashing through the air with ferocious intent. Delu met its attack head-on, the impact echoing through the cave as the two forces collided. The sheer force pushed her back a few steps, but she held firm, her expression darkening with fury. Her voice was sharp and cold as she rebuked the beast, calling it a lowly creature that dared to show disrespect to her, the emperor. With a scowl of anger, she declared that it was time to end its pitiful existence. Her eyes blazed with intensity as she activated her skill. Crimson sound waves erupted from her, rippling through the air and forcing the cave to tremble. A massive, otherworldly eye materialized above her, its gaze locking onto the lava beast. Its energy began to drain rapidly, the beast thrashing and roaring in desperation. Delu smirked, her voice filled with finality as she stated that it was over. What remained of the lava beast was nothing more than a brittle shell. Its body cracked like stone, crumbling to pieces as it fell apart. The intense heat that had filled the cave began to dissipate, leaving only silence in its wake. Zixingyu steadied himself and looked over at Delu. With a faint smile, he remarked that they were finally safe. However, his voice wavered as he admitted he wasn't feeling well. Before Delu could respond, his legs gave way, and he collapsed to the ground. Her eyes widened as she rushed to his side, calling out his name with urgency. Her earlier composure faded as concern took over, her hands shaking slightly as she checked on him. A deep, resonant voice echoed around him, calling out and stating that he had finally awakened. Zixingyu blinked in confusion, realizing he was no longer in the cave. Instead, he found himself in a vast, ethereal void. Before him loomed a massive dragon, its body coiled endlessly into the shadows. Its scales shimmered like molten obsidian, and its glowing red eyes burned with an ancient, otherworldly power. He sat unknowingly on the dragon's immense body, still trying to grasp his surroundings. He called out, asking who was there, but at first, he could not see the dragon clearly. As red energy began to swirl and envelop him, his vision sharpened, and the dragon's towering form became clear. The weight of its presence was overwhelming. Zixingyu, still bewildered, questioned the dragon, asking where he was and what was happening. The dragon's voice thundered in the void, its tone both ancient and knowing. It questioned Zixingyu, asking how he could have forgotten it, the one who had guided him to evolve his beast. Zhao's mind raced as the truth dawned on him. The dragon's words were not from the system. It had been the dragon all along, helping him without his knowledge. Confusion still lingered, and Z, now grasping the gravity of the situation, asked the dragon its name. The dragon's eyes flickered with a deep sorrow as it answered, its voice quieter. It revealed that when Z had been struck by the blood of another dragon, it had awakened, its memories stirred by the blood. However, the dragon admitted it didn't know its name, as it, too, had lost its memories over time. He sat in silence, absorbing the dragon's words. He now understood that the dragon's words were not lies, they were the truth. The dragon's voice took on a deeper, more serious tone as it admitted to losing its memories, but it reassured Zixingyu that it still held the power to help him achieve strength far beyond what most humans could ever hope to attain. Z, still skeptical, mocked the dragon, questioning how it could help him when it didn't even know its own name. How could something so lost possibly guide him? The dragon, unbothered by his words, responded calmly. It pointed out that Z had already been using its abilities for some time now, though he had not fully realized it. To illustrate its point, the dragon conjured a screen before Z, showing Black Fang's stats in clear detail. The numbers and abilities displayed made Z pause. It was undeniable everything that had been happening to him, the evolution, the changes, the hidden powers, it was all tied to the dragon. Z, now certain that the dragon had been behind everything, couldn't help but feel a mix of awe and disbelief. He was finally starting to understand the true scope of his situation. The dragon's presence intensified, and a sudden vibration from Zixingyu's phone caught his attention. The screen flashed with a message, and a voice resonated in his mind. It spoke clearly, "I can see all information about magical beasts. Simply summon me with your consciousness, and I'll appear. Follow my instructions, and you'll become a legend among humans." Zixingyu frowned, skepticism in his voice as he questioned the dragon's true goal. The dragon's reply was calm but uncertain. "I might wish to recover my lost memories, but I'm not sure yet." Z, still perplexed, pressed further. "Why reveal yourself now? Why make me think you were a system?" The dragon's voice grew steady. "As your strength grows, I am able to bridge a stable connection with you. Now that you have gained enough strength and two beasts by your side, it is finally sufficient for me to appear." Zixingyu, still trying to make sense of everything, asked where this place was. The dragon explained, "This is a shared space where our minds connect to one another. You are unconscious right now, and I took this opportunity to meet with you." Z paused, realizing that the dragon was right. It all made sense now. He had passed out. The dragon acknowledged this, adding that it was time for him to wake up. Before the connection began to fade, Z questioned, "Will I see you again?" The dragon's voice was reassuring as it replied, "I have always been by your side." Zixingyu suddenly woke up, confused about how he had ended up in the hospital. He tried to piece together his memories, recalling being in the cave, but before he could think further, two voices spoke, confirming that he was awake. He chuckled weakly, mentioning that he must have given them a bit of a scare. Struggling to sit up, he looked at the principal and said he remembered falling off the cliff. He asked how he had ended up here. The principal explained that the rescue team had found him unconscious in a cave. The principal asked Zixingyu about the body of a lava lion tiger found near the cave. She wanted to know if he knew what happened. Z acted confused, saying he was unconscious and couldn't have seen anything. He joked, asking if she thought a one-star beastmaster like him could defeat such a beast. The principal thought for a moment and agreed that he had a point. Maybe she had been overthinking it. She then told him the academy would investigate and come back with an explanation. Zixingyu thanked the principal for looking out for him. She nodded and explained that for the trials, both he and Murong had earned S+ ranks, breaking the academy record. Chen then commented that Zixingyu should focus on his recovery and prepare for his upcoming first-year competition. He said they would leave him to rest, and the two of them turned to leave. As they walked out, Zixingyu's beast contract symbol suddenly glowed red. Delu appeared, and Zixingyu looked at her, commenting that he had been wondering where she went. He quickly added that it was fine, knowing she had just been hiding in the beast crest. Delu leaned on the table, her eyes narrowing playfully as she called him a brat. She scolded him for feeding her his heart's blood so recklessly, explaining that it was the reason he had collapsed. He had overexerted himself and worn himself out. Delu explained that the rescue team had arrived just in time. Her expression darkened as she continued, revealing that she didn't want to be discovered by humans, which was why she had hidden away. Then, she questioned Zixingyu, asking if him falling down the cliff had truly been an accident. Zhao's face grew serious as he looked down, recalling the moment he had seen Wang in the bushes. He sighed and replied that it wasn't an accident, adding that he already knew who was behind it. Zixingyu's expression darkened with anger as he clenched his fists, his body tense with frustration. His mind was consumed with thoughts of Wang, the fury building inside him. He knew this time, he wouldn't let Wang get away so easily. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and like. It really helps me out.